everybody, this is Miss Liz from the Hightstown branch here with another round of trivia for you from the Who Is, Who Was biography series. This month we're doing artists and writers. All right, so if you want to grab a pen or pencil and paper, keep track, or just play for fun, let's get started. She was a world famous performer known for her horseback riding and sharpshooting. Was it Sacagawea, Annie Oakley, Calamity Jane, or Belle Starr? If you said Annie Oakley, you were right. Annie was born Phoebe Ann Moses. She joined the circus at age 24 in 1884. Annie was a performer and sharpshooter who made as much money as the president when she was at her most famous. She met Sitting Bull, the chief of the Native American Sioux tribe. And of course, check out the book Who Was Annie Oakley to learn more about her. All right, this one might be an easier one for you. This artist and puppeteer created Big Bird and the Muppets. His name was Frank Oz, Jeff Dunham, Jim Henson, or Mr. Rogers. If you said Jim Henson, you were right. Jim wanted to work in television designing props and sets. He attended the University of Maryland where he took a puppetry class. Jim used his Muppets in TV commercials. And the Big Bird costume is 8 feet tall with a fan and TV inside to help the performer wearing the costume. All right, switching gears here a little bit. An American master of horror stories, this poet was born in Boston, Massachusetts, and is most famously known for writing The Raven. Was it Beatrix Potter, William Shakespeare, Edgar Allan Poe, or E.E. Cummings? The answer is Edgar Allan Poe. Edgar's parents were actors who traveled the United States to perform. He went to private schools where he learned Latin and French. He wrote his first poem at age 16 about a store clerk. Edgar joined the U.S. military as a way to earn money. All right, now we're switching from writers to, well, Leonardo da Vinci kind of does it all. Although Leonardo da Vinci is said to have written over 6,000 pages in various notebooks, he is most known for painting, was it the Mona Lisa, water lilies, Campbell's soup cans, or the painting known as The Scream? It was the Mona Lisa. No one is really sure who the woman in the painting is. Some people say Leonardo was asked by a silk merchant to paint a portrait of the merchant's wife. So it could be her. He was no longer interested in painting, but he took the job anyway. And then when Leonardo finished the painting, he kept it and took it with him everywhere. So he didn't even give it to whoever asked for it. The painting is now on display in the Louvre Museum in Paris, France. All right, now we're going back to writers. Before this author wrote James and the Giant Peach, he was a World War II pilot. Name him. Was it Eric Carle, Roald Dahl, Brad Meltzer, or Rick Riordan? And if you said Roald Dahl, you were right. Roald Dahl was born in Cardiff, Wales. His first children's book, called The Gremlins, was published by Disney in 1943. As a pilot in World War II, he once flew a plane to a secret airstrip in Africa, and the plane crashed. Thankfully, he was okay and able to write all those books, right? Okay, switching back to artists. One of the most famous artists of her time, this artist painted through constant pain after being in a bus accident as a young woman. Was it Georgia O'Keeffe, Frida Kahlo, Yayoi Kusama, or Louise Bourgeois? It was Frida Kahlo. Her full name was Magdalena Carmen Frida Kahlo y Calderon. She was in a terrible bus accident at the age of 18. Frida was a teacher at the School of Painting and Sculpting, and her painting, The Frame, which is seen here, is a self-portrait painted in oil paints on glass. It is on display in a museum in Paris, France. To learn more about Frida Kahlo, you can check out the biography, Who Was Frida Kahlo? All right, we're doing a different kind of artist now. What was the name of the ballet that Maria Tallchief performed in that would make her the United States' first prima ballerina? Was it the Nutcracker, Swan Lake, the Firebird, or Cinderella? So I had no idea about this particular ballet until doing these trivia questions, but maybe you know. It was The Firebird. The Firebird was written by Igor Stravinsky, a Russian man, for performances in Paris, France in 1910. It tells the story of Prince Ivan, who wanders into an enchanted forest and comes across a magical firebird who promises to help him. Maria Tolchi first played the Firebird when the ballet was performed in New York City in 1949. Keeping with artists, Rosie the Riveter is one of this artist's most well-known paintings. She's seen here. And it also appeared on the cover of the Saturday Evening Post in 1943. Who was the artist who painted it? Was it Willem de Kooning, Mark Rothko, Norman Rockwell, or Agnes Martin? It was Norman Rockwell. Norman Rockwell was famous for painting scenes of everyday American life. He traveled 2 hours each way to get to art school in New York City as a teenager. He was also the art editor for the Boy Scouts magazine called Boy's Life. Norman painted over 300 covers, including Rosie the Riveter that we just saw, for the magazine The Saturday Evening Post, which was read by millions of people across the country for news. All right, our next artist, Andy Warhol. Andy Warhol once said, "In the future, everyone will be world famous for 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 1 day, or 1 week." The answer is 15 minutes, which, considering he lived in a time before the internet and social media and Twitter and TikTok, he was pretty right on about that. Andy Warhol is considered the founder of the pop art movement. You can see some of his paintings here. Pop art is short for popular art and was about celebrating everyday life and familiar things that people saw often. Andy Warhol had lots of cats as pets, and his mother named them all Sam. Some of his most famous paintings feature Campbell's soup cans, or famous people like the actress Marilyn Monroe, seen here, or Queen Elizabeth II, Queen of England. All right, we're getting down to our last question. She was a streetcar operator, an opera singer, and a calypso dancer, but she's best known for being a poet and the author of books including I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. Was it Laura Ingalls Wilder, Maya Angelou, Harriet Beecher Stowe, or Judy Blume? And all of these are writers. Which one was it? If you said Maya Angelou, you were right. Maya's grandmother nicknamed her Little Professor. She was born Marguerite Annie Johnson and changed her name to Maya Angelou at age 25. Maya Angelou worked with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. in 1960. Her autobiography, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, was published in 1969 when Maya was 41 years old. And it's still something that's pretty popular and read a lot in high school, even to this day. All right, thank you so much for playing along with me. I hope you learned a little bit about some writers and artists that you might not have known. And don't forget to tune in next month for our next edition of Who Is, Who Was Trivia. And the theme is Black History Month, since February is Black History Month. And the video for the Black History Month Who Is, Who Was Trivia will premiere on the Mercer County Library System YouTube channel on Wednesday, February 24th at 4 p.m. Thanks so much.